Springs, 1990. A killer waits to strike. When Diane Hood walks to her car, she steps into a trap.
Take it, it's yours!
Holding the gun is 29-year-old mother of two, Jennifer Reali. Is she an innocent woman manipulated into being a killer? Or was this senseless murder all her own idea? Now, 20 years later, Jennifer is waiting to tell me just what was going through her mind on that terrible night. She's got a story to tell, and I've got some questions for her. I'm Candice DeLong. As an FBI agent, I worked on the front line for the world's most powerful law enforcement agency. I went undercover, I trailed terrorists, and I interviewed notorious killers. It's my job to understand the people who others cannot comprehend. Hours after the murder of Diane Hood, Jennifer Reali makes an incredible confession. She did it. She shot Diane. But there's a catch. You see, she claims it's not her fault. Diane's husband, Brian, convinced Jennifer that God wanted it that way. The jury agrees. Brian Hood is sentenced to 37 years. And Jennifer ends up here. In the Denver Women's Correctional Facility. She's prisoner number 68136, serving life for first-degree murder. Walking in to meet her for the first time, I can't help wondering, where did it all go wrong for Jennifer Reali? Did she realize that in loving Brian Hood, she was facing evil?
Here she comes.
Did Brian really command Jennifer to kill? And if he did, why on earth did she say yes? You know, there could be all kinds of answers to that question. But I suspect it has to be somewhere in her relationships with men.
I'm wondering, how did you end up here? How did this become your life? Let's go way back.
You know, that's been the puzzle of my life for the past 20 years, trying to figure out what happened, why I was susceptible, and why I was so eager to please. What were the dynamics of my life that caused me to be susceptible to that?
What kind of guys were you attracted to?
Oh, bad boys.
The bad boys.
Bad boys. The first date I had, I remember the very end of it, ended up in a rape. And I didn't see it as that at the time. But now that I look back, I'm like, whoa, where was your sense of boundaries and sense of self? And I ended up dating this guy for another year.
Yeah.
Now that rings an alarm bell for me. Even as a young adult, Jennifer wants to please men. She'll trade her happiness for theirs. It happens again in college when she meets a young, domineering soldier, Ben Reali.
Ben is the one you chose to marry.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 22. I had a great career ahead of me. I had all these great things going on, and
what career did you have?
I was going into architecture. I was following my father's footsteps. And then he was like, well, let's get married. And I'm like, well, I want to finish school. He says, it's now or never. And back then, I felt like I could not exist without someone. I had to have somebody. I would have someone to love, I would have someone to please, I would have someone to chase, and I'd have someone chasing me, and all of that would make me feel more alive.
It's sounding like an ominous pattern. For Jennifer, having a man take care of her is more important than taking care of herself. At age 29, with 2 beautiful young children, Jennifer Reali should be glowing. But life isn't panning out as she'd expected. Her husband, Ben, is a career soldier.
Twice a week.
It's not showing.
And she says he brought military discipline right into the family home.
His way of control or any kind of abuse was usually in the bedroom. And that's where the degradation would usually happen.
Can you tell me about that?
Once we had children, it didn't matter where they were. He would talk about violent sexual acts at dinner and what he was going to do, and I would just not say anything. And it was easier for me to just go along.
Detached and isolated in her own home, she becomes a lonely, vulnerable woman. Then, one fateful day, Jennifer is relaxing in the jacuzzi at her local health club.
And then in walks Brian Hood.
Yes.
Tell me about the day you first met him.
The first time I met Brian was in the jacuzzi, and, you know, he uncurled his huge body and shook my hand and said, "Hi, my name is Brian Hood," and I said, "Hi, I'm Jennifer Reali," and he's like, "What do you do for a living?" And I, very chagrined, in a sense, said, "Well, I'm a housewife and a mother." I wasn't real proud of that because I had aspirations to be something else. And he very quickly said, "Oh, that's one of the best professions in the world. I think that's admirable. You should think well of yourself." And da-da-da-da-da. We talked about our marriages, and it was just real small talk. And that was it.
Hi, mind if I join you?
Jennifer is ripe for the picking, and Brian plays her perfectly.
Diane Hood.
But wait for the clincher. He has a tragic story. His wife is suffering from the chronic disease, lupus.
How did he come across when he would speak about his wife's illness?
Very sympathetic. He seemed as though it was such a tragedy at the beginning.
He came across as a caring husband.
Oh, very, very. He was a caring husband, a born-again believer. The package he presented was so pristine that there was no way I would have thought that there was an underlying villain underneath it.
Brian seems like a caring man with strong Christian beliefs. Jennifer trusts him. Next, he invites himself into her house, presumably to sell insurance. With her husband away on military maneuvers, Jennifer is supremely vulnerable.
I was pouring coffee, and he came up behind me, and I turned around, I didn't even know he was there, and he just bent down and kissed me. And I pushed him away, and I said, "How can you do this? We're not doing this." And he says, "Well, you just take your head off, and you put it over there, and you just enjoy it." And he was kind of hard to resist physically. And I was attracted. I was attracted to him.
Well, he was a pretty handsome guy back then.
Yeah, he was a pretty handsome guy, and very, very passionate, very charismatic. And it's as though he knew exactly what to do, exactly when. It's like he could read what I needed.
It was the dream.
It was.
I've seen this kind of behavior before. Jennifer puts up a minor fight, but I believe a part of her wants to be charmed by Brian.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
When she let him into her house, I think she knew an affair might be in the cards.
I'm in the laundry room, and he just picks me up, puts me on the washing machine and washer and dryer, and gets close to me, and basically starts to have sex. And I'm thinking, okay, this is not okay. This is not all right. But this is great. This is great. You know, there was this toss back and forth, and then very abruptly, as abruptly as he'd come in, he left, He got out and he said, okay, now we're one in the eyes of God. He put his shirt on, walked out, and he was gone. And I'm still sitting there on the washer and dryer.
For Jennifer, sex changes everything. She has fallen for Brian. This is nothing like life with her husband, Ben.
I felt beautiful, I felt affirmed, I felt loved, I didn't feel like I was being used, I didn't feel like trash. Made a huge difference. It was night and day. So that was how the affair began.
Jennifer Reali was a vulnerable woman blinded by passion. When her lover started telling her sob stories about his sick wife, she listened.
First, he started talking about how miserable he was and that, you know, the disease was potentially deadly and that he wished she'd just die and that it was getting worse and worse. And he started talking about how he wanted to kill her.
What did you think of this?
I thought he was really distraught. I mean, I felt his pain, and I wanted him just to be able to vent. I figured if he vented, then it was going to be okay. I said, why don't you just divorce her? And he says, well, I can't. Because if I divorce her, then I will perpetually live in sin for the rest of my life. Because you'll be in adultery. Divorce is a no-no in the church. You just can't do that.
But murder's okay?
Murder was okay. And I asked him that, and I thought that that was a little odd there. I said, well, he says, because murder's a one-time thing, and you do that once, and then you can, you can confess it, you get forgiven, and there may be consequences throughout life. But really, you're done. It's not going to be a perpetual sin till the day you die.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. But
To me, Brian is no Christian. He's a con man. And Jennifer Reali, a lonely woman eager to please, seems an easy mark. Still, it's a long journey from kiss me to kill for me. How does she get there?
Don't you want us to be together? This is what God wants.
How did it come up that you would kill her?
Well, he had come to the conclusion that I was an angel sent by God and that I was here to help him through this and that I would be the one to be able to do this, and I thought he was crazy.
What did you think would happen, or did you have any thoughts about what would happen if you simply said, Brian, I'm not going to kill your wife?
I did tell him that, and we had that conversation, and it didn't go well. We were in my car, and I told him, I said, look, I can't do this. I can't do this. You're gonna have to find another way. And I remember him slamming the dashboard.
You got to. Why not?
And he started yelling at me a blue streak, and I don't really recall what he said. But then it was just like, okay.
Do you recall the point, Jennifer, at which you decided to do it, to commit the murder?
Here's the crazy thing. I don't know that I can say that I decided I would. What I decided is that if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen. Like I said, I thought that God would stop it. If it wasn't supposed to happen, my car would break down, or the meeting would be canceled, or something would happen. And so to say that I made a decision would be a lie.
Brian's plan for Jennifer is to dress in disguise and shoot his wife, Diane, as she leaves a lupus support meeting.
Do you remember how you were feeling? Was your heart pounding?
I went numb, and I felt weightless. I got to a place where it just didn't even feel like I existed. I didn't feel anything.
Just after 8:30 on a Wednesday evening in September 1990.
Take it, it's yours!
That's it. That's the moment Jennifer Reali finally crosses the line. From being a seemingly happy Colorado mother to being a killer.
So take us back. No one saw you. You're camouflaged.
I wait for the meeting to come out, and she and somebody else come out. I don't even see the other person. And I tell her to give me her purse, and she does, and she runs.
Take it, it's yours!
And she's halfway between me and the entrance of this support group meeting place. I don't even know where the other girl is. And she turns and she looks at me. And that's when I shoot. And she falls. That shot, I, of course, learned later, went straight through her and killed her. Because it went through her right arm, through her heart, and lodged in her left arm. And it threw her to the ground.
Please!
The only thing I heard, I didn't hear her screaming. I didn't hear the other girl. All I heard was, it has to be 2 shots. She has to be dead. So I walked over to her, and I recall her rolling over onto her stomach, and that's where the second shot is, in her shoulder. And then I ran. And that's it. I've completed my mission. It's an ugly, ugly mission.
Okay.
I didn't believe it had happened. I really didn't. I didn't think it happened at all.
To this day, Diane Hood denies being responsible for Jennifer's actions.
If you could say anything to Brian right now, what would it be?
Take responsibility. If he had taken responsibility for what had happened, things may be different.
Responsibility. Now that's the word at the core of this whole tragic case. Just who is responsible for the death of Diane Hood? I think Jennifer is still coming to grips with that question.
Have you taken responsibility for this?
I've always taken the brunt of the responsibility. Maybe more than I should have, because really, I'm the gun in Brian's hand. I'm not the one that pulled the trigger, you know? He's the one who did. He killed his wife.
If you could say anything to Diane, what would you say?
I'm sorry. That's such a shallow thing to say. That doesn't cut it. She should be bouncing grandbabies on her lap. She shouldn't be where she is. I'd trade places with her if I could. Because she's the one who needs to be living.
The more I talk to Jennifer face to face, the more her problems are becoming clear to me. A lifetime of pleasing others left her dangerously vulnerable to a manipulative man. But in the end, it was Jennifer who pulled the trigger that night.
If you were out of prison, would society be safe from you?
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm no longer a threat because who I was when I came here is not the person I am today. If I had known how to have loving relationships and had believed in myself, Diane Hood couldn't have touched me. Neither could have been Reali. Neither of those men could have touched me. I would have been an architect, somewhere having a successful life, somewhere with probably a great husband and kids that are in college, you know? So I see where I could have gone. But I know that now my desire is to give back to the society that I took from. There are women all over the place that are in similar positions.
Your story, there's a lot for people to learn, young women. What would you like to say to them?
Think. And don't hold any secrets. We're only as sick as our secrets. Tell somebody, talk to somebody, get some reason from somebody else. When we invite other people into our drama, if I'd invited one person in, it wouldn't have happened.
The Jennifer Reali I met was not the same Jennifer that committed murder 20 long years ago. I believe that Jennifer was being truthful with me about what happened. she surrendered her will to Diane Hood, a smooth-talking con man who convinced her to commit a violent act that was not at all in her nature. And 20 years later, she's still paying the price.